there is not necessarily a spot there to welcome them back, ideally not in the previous job, but in a better job, of course. So that's an issue. So sometimes we say to people, okay, you go, but how can you come back? Okay, don't read this. The message is very simple. This is a pyramid. The green part is a top executive level. It's green. It's green because over there, we don't think there is an issue. There is a big pool. They have what we call the talent run table. They don't have an issue. The bottom up is the junior management, basically people coming out of school up to I would say, the entry level of middle management. It's fairly okay. I mean, people are, you know, they have this mobility, they have this transparency. The big problem is the red one in the middle. We have a big chunk there of people who are stuck in middle management position, and we have an issue of functional mobility in that area. So that's what we have identified. So one of the track is transparency. We've been working hard designing job families, and now we will have to make an effort to ensure that there is mobility between these job families. We have to attack the culture. Managers don't like to advertise positions at a certain level. And for junior level, it's fine, but if you go up, we are really trying to push transparency. And it's really a cultural model. I mean, they don't like to say, okay, we have a almost senior position here. I mean, are there available people? No, they like to manage it and decide who will go there, even though we have improved with the talent run table. And accountability. I think we are changing the organization. We will ask the org units to really have metrics and be accountable about the turnover rate, internal turnover rate inside the company, inside their org units. We have to change the model. I mean, people cannot expect anymore to move up the ladder all the time. We will have to go through what we call the spiral staircase, so that you cannot move up all the time. You have to move laterally and enrich your experience and your employability by going, I would say, through different positions. Okay, talent run table, I called about it, career assessments. We need to go more about it. By the way, somebody told me 10 days ago, I was in a meeting in Brussels, and there were fairly large companies. It seems like we are moving more and more from evaluation, performance evaluations, to evolution discussions with people. The rationale being, if people are comfortable and feel comfortable that we are looking at their next step, which will fit their needs, they will be engaged. And it's more fruitful, and it's probably more interesting to focus on that than to focus on past performance and really rehash what you didn't do well or what you did well in the past year. So performance is not going away, but evolution is something that's probably progressing as we speak. The sliding puzzle, I told you we were going to the asymptotic and we are the bare bones, which means that we have, you know, these little sliding puzzles. You need to have an empty square in order to be able to move the different pieces and create the picture. It's exactly the same. If you are the bare bones, you are stuck. Because whenever you remove somebody, you create such a hole that you cannot really assign that person to another position. So you need to put in some fat into the organization, a minimal level of fat. We have gone too far into the bare bone. And we have to relaunch an international trainee program. Aging workforce. This is from Eurostat. And the red one are the employees age 56, 64. I mean, Professor Tivik talked about it this morning. So we see clearly the two trends. One is declining, the other one is increasing. And the question for us is, how do we adapt to a new mix of generations? Fewer younger people and older employee. And here, this is what I call, I mean, we are a company, and probably like many, where we have baby boomers. We missed the X generation, and we are bringing in a Y generation. So how do you get Y generation working with baby boomers? I think it's an interesting challenge, and we need to work on that. This is what it is. Basically, we need to bridge the gap. There are tracks, of course. I was very interested in a BMW experience where they set up, I think, a plant only with older employees. And that plant actually, provided they had the right metrics and the right ergonomic adjustments, simple things like replacing hard concrete floors with wooden floors so that the joints will be would be less demanded. Well, they had better metrics than other plants where you had younger employees. So it's feasible. So working to health and well-being, actually we have health. We are moving more and more toward well-being, and we are emphasizing on that. Part-time work, why should people work, especially for the CAD, or 45 hours a week when they are 60? I don't think it's reasonable. And define lifelong learning and career development strategies. Okay, the Y generation, we have a very poor rookie ratio. The rookie ratio, if you are familiar with the American expression, are really the young guys in the organization. So we have a rookie ratio of 5%, so people with less than 2 years of seniority, and the chemicals industry is about 20%. So it shows that we have an issue there. Y generation, we have to take a look at what they are really looking for. I will not read that, but they have a different work style and they have different demand than, I would say, the baby boomers. And when you have a manager who is 55, who is looking at the performance and evolution of a 23 years old, I think you have a cultural gap there. You have to think differently. I've got 3 children, and I can assure you, when I see my son who is 23 and coming out of school working, it's not the same way as I'm working, not at all. They use technology, I mean, there is no question, and they work from everywhere, anywhere, they are connected, and they have a different concept about what is performance. I'm not saying this is no performance, I think they are performing, but they're performing in a different way. Evonik talked also about the employee value proposition. We are working on ours, so we need to attract this Y generation. Diversity is an issue, and it's a business imperative because of demographic changes, but also because of our corporate social responsibility. When you look at Solvay, so the white blue is the female percentage, and I would say the violet is a male population, and here you have the different functional fields. You cannot read, upside down, but manufacturing is the lowest, to be expected. But as a consequence, management or general management is the second lowest, which is a real issue for us. And why is it so? It's because the feeding pool for managers comes from manufacturing. We are a manufacturing company, after all. That's where the masses are. They are not in HR, they are not in finance, they are in manufacturing. So, and we really have to make an effort in hiring female engineers in the future years, which is not necessarily easy because the numbers, we still have a deficit in the schools about females engineering. So it will continue to be an issue for us, although we are getting better in the other functional fields. And the key knowledge transfer, I think this is an issue which is obviously on the table of other companies. It's not in our company yet, but I'm worried about it. I think with the number of people leaving, a number of know-hows are disappearing, and it's not enough to say to a young guy, work with Joe Blow who is 55 or 60 years old and you will learn. More and more you discover that you have to put in place really methodologies, and usually third parties, people who know about how to transfer knowledge, like specialized teachers who know how to capture knowledge and give it to somebody, particularly engineers. Engineers don't like to write procedures. They like to write flowcharts, but they will not write a procedure. So you have to capture that and make sure it's given in a proper way, I would say, to the new generation. Thank you.